As I sit here and drive along, good afternoon. As I sit here and I drive, just listening to different things, listening to Chappelle earlier. He just dropped a little thing, and jumping through and listening to Patrice O'Neal and stuff like that. I listen to him often. Just listening to some different videos and things, and the thought crosses my mind. It's like, I wonder where let me take that back. I don't wonder. I wonder when I really started to look at things the way I look at things, because, friends, associates, when we speak and stuff like that, when we speak on heavy topics, when we speak on things that's, we could joke, we could laugh, but, when we really talk, when we get to the nitty gritty of society and how ugly it can be, and, relationships and people in general, I've adopted this way of kind of dealing with things, as far as, now don't get me wrong, I understand the horrors of this world. It's baffling at times, and I understand that the people who can't see how ugly they truly are and how ugly the side in which they stand truly is. I've gotten to a point where, I try not to I try not to lose sleep over it, and I'm pretty good at that. I don't let it get to me to that point anymore. I find it fascinating, man, but it makes sense to me in my mind. When you can look at one extreme, you can look at people who are just all for individuals, regardless of what they look like, regardless of, I don't know what other prejudices are there. There's, crap, Pierre's calling me. I'm gonna have to pause this. There we go. All right, I'm back. There we go. All right, so messed up my train of thought, but regardless of their, how they look, sexual orientation, all that stuff, people are just people. They see individuals, they see people as people. Hey, your skin may be darker than mine, but who the hell cares? We're cool. Whatever. You deserve the same rights as I do. You deserve to be treated just as fair as anybody else. Fair. Everyone should be treated fairly. Equally, fairly. It's key words. Everyone should be looked at. Hey, you got 2 arms and 2 legs? Hell, if you don't have 2 arms and 2 legs, you got 1 arm, 2 legs. No arms, no legs. Whatever. You're a human being. To look at the differences that we all have, and to say that, we're the same, but we are different. We want to push the rhetoric that we're all the same. We're the same fundamentally at our core, but there are differences, and to take those differences and to use those to develop prejudices based upon those things, to create certain stereotypical views to use to justify those prejudices, is baffling to me at times. Because I just look at it and I'm like, how the hell can I look at somebody that got blue eyes and be like, oh, you friggin' whatever, I'm like, what, dude? Like, you got 2 eyes too, what the fudge? Like I said fudge. It's just like, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. But as time is going on, and the more and more I look at certain things, and the more and more I see how certain people treat certain people, I understand how individuals will become disenfranchised with that notion. Because if a certain person, if a friggin', I don't know, if a oak tree attacked me every friggin' morning that I got up, every morning before I walked out the door, an oak tree attacked me. I didn't do nothing to the oak tree. I don't hit the oak tree. I don't bother the oak tree. Every morning I wake up, I open the door, the oak tree looks at me, smack, and then goes about his business. What do you think is going to happen by that trained behavior? You're going to soon start to develop resentment to that oak tree, right? These things that are happening. Why do people not understand the distrust that people have for police? The distrust that some people have for white people, for whatever. Because we keep seeing a lot of the same thing. And there's a lot of adverse behavior that y'all have towards people, and we're sitting there like, what the hell did we do to you? Again, but going back to the thought that I was having earlier, the way I look at things, man, it's like, yo, if you have one extreme, you're just bound to have another. I thought that way when I was younger, but I'm gonna tell you, when I seen the movie, I had a lot of things for movies. You know, when I seen the movie, and I rewatched it when I got older, and I appreciated it more. Unbreakable, and Mr. Glass, you know, was explaining why. Dang, I can't remember Bruce Willis' character's name. It was explaining why Bruce Willis was who he was, and why Mr. Glass was who he was. There's just one extreme and the next extreme. And it makes so much sense to me, because it's like, if you can honestly see that there are good people out there that, I mean, just take the notion of the perfect human being, a good human being. You know, take all that other crap out of it. The way they look, the size they are. Just take a great human being that treats people right, that thinks fairly, that looks at individuals not based upon certain characteristics that they have, not based upon physical characteristics, but based upon their character. How they are, how they think. Take that individual and friggin' bizarro them. Make them friggin' the opposite. If one extreme exists, the other extreme is bound to come up. Is bound to exist. And by no means is that me saying that that's right, that's, you know, it's okay. It's not me saying that. It's me understanding. It's me looking at through my eyes, you know. People always want to get in my head. Here's a little taste of it. Here's a little taste of how I view the world. If there's bound to be the good, you know, the good side of things, quote unquote, then there's bound to be an opposite of that. Bound to be. And yeah, I'm not gonna get into the philosophical aspect of it, as far as, you know, speaking on, well, what is good and what is evil and what is right and what is wrong. Look, check this out. I'm not gonna get into that. I can, and I have my opinions on that. My opinion right now in this video is not about that. My opinion right now is, yo, what's right and what's wrong. You know what right and wrong is. You know when you watch that tape, that was wrong. You know that. You know that. You don't have to be a rocket science. You don't have to sit there and say, well, you know, did he do something in his past and this and that and all that type of stuff. You know right and wrong, man. You know that. So cut the BS. But is it shocking? Was it that shocking when I first watched the video? No, it wasn't. That's the problem. That is the problem, that it was not that surprising. I'm glad that the climate is the way that it is now. I'm glad that the climate is continuing to go in the route that it is, because honestly and truly, I love that people are just speaking their minds and saying their opinions and truly showing how they view people. Because now we know who you are. You know, the new Ku Klux Klan, they wear their business suits and all that type of stuff, and this and that, they still hide. They still hide. They're just not wearing the big funny ghost outfits, And if anybody watches my video for some odd reason and your grandfather was a Klansman, he was a clown, yo. Homie, he was a big clown, That's just a side note. But, it's gathering my thoughts. It's just two sides of the same coin, man. Like society, people, generally speaking, not get into the philosophical of things, just generally speaking, if there's a right, there's bound to be a wrong somewhere, somewhere. It's crazy, ain't it? It's crazy that anybody can look at things, look at the climate, look at that, and still get it in their mind that nothing is wrong. But based on what I just said, it's inevitable.